G'day people and welcome, I'm Sharon. Big thanks to my friend Jane who has loaned me her brother MyStar 3 for these tutorials. Let's get started by having a look around the machine. To introduce you to the machine, on the top we have a spool pin holder and the place to put your spool, things for winding a bobbin. We have stitch length, which is how far along the stitch will move. It will be measured in millimetres. This is stitch width, and this is tension. Standard tension on this machine is 5. You'll notice that there is a piece that pokes up in the middle there. When that piece is up, the needle is in the centre. When I move it to the right onto 0, I now have the needle over to the right, and when I move it as far to the left as it goes, the needle is now in the left. So that's how you adjust the machine for needle drop position. Needle drop position allows you to decide where in that needle hole the needle is going to descend. The straight stitch still does a straight stitch, it will just do it in a different position. Down here we've got the stitch selector, or the thing that shows you what stitch is selected. It's currently a straight stitch. These are all the stitches and their numbers. We've got the flywheel, which is the bit that goes around while you're sewing. Stitch selector, so when I turn that, it changes what stitch is showing here. Place to put the electricity and on-off button. At the very back, there is a place where you can adjust if you've got the two sides of the buttonhole not coming out evenly. So the stitches on one side are more separated than on the other. That's where it gets adjusted. At this end we have the button for the light and also a cutter which has got like a little razor blade inside it. We begin with winding a bobbin. The bobbins on this particular machine are a quite small bobbin and it's quite curved. Put the thread in with the thread coming out at the bottom. This one seems to have plenty of room on there to put the holder on. To wind a bobbin, we're following the broken line. So we go under here and then we're going to come out and around the right hand side of the little piece that pokes up there, and then around to the left and across. Now that has gone in. That's the tensioning device, so it needs to be firmly in there. I can give it a bit of a tug to make sure it is firmly in there, and then we're coming across here to the winder. The machine's plugged in. I'm going to turn it on and we'll just see if the light's working. Yes, it is. I don't need it on at the moment. There's my bobbin. Take the end of the thread, fold it, twist, and that gives you a slightly more stiff piece of thread which you put through the holes in the bobbin from the inside to the outside, and then click it on the bobbin winder. Click the bobbin winder across to the right, hold the thread up and depress the foot control. Once you've got sufficient thread on the bobbin that it's not going to come undone, trim that thread off close to the bobbin and then continue winding the bobbin. When the little piece here comes in contact with the thread, it will stop it from winding. I don't actually need that much thread on here, so I'm going to cut it off now. I can move that over, which disconnects it from the motor of the machine. We're now going to thread the main body of the machine, and I want the piece up here, the take-up lever, to be at the top when I'm doing that. Having that take-up lever at the top is actually a really important part of sewing. When the take-up lever is all the way up, the machine has finished one stitch and is about to start a new one. And that means if you're sewing, that's the time to get your fabric out. If you're threading, it means that the needle is not down in the bottom doing something weird. It means that everything is disengaged between stitches. Take up lever at the top, that's where you want it to be for a lot of things. Thread coming out from underneath, unless you're finding you're getting a very twisty thread, and then you can turn it around the other way and put it on. We are now following the unbroken line. 1, I continue holding here, 2, down to 3, up and around 4, and at that point I will let go of them, but I'm making sure that we are firmly engaged in the tension discs. Down the front of the machine. The needle is currently in the up position. There is, that's number 5 there. I've got a number 6 just above the needle. Is the final guide before we go through the needle. Thread the needle from front to back and make sure you don't get the thread twisted around the needle. My needle thread just got twisted around there. I need to untwist it. If you are finding it difficult to see in order to thread your needles, please check out my how to use a needle threader video up there. The needle is in the right way if the groove is down the front of the needle. Make sure the needle goes all the way up into the machine as far as it can go. Remove the needle cover by pulling it forward. You can see there's a picture here that shows you that the thread is coming around and going down to the left. So we make it like a letter P. That's because you're all practically perfect in every way. Put the thread in, or the bobbin in, finger on the bobbin, bring it down to the front, probably to about 4 or 5 o'clock, and then follow all the way around, and that will get it lodged into the tension. And just slide your needle cover back on. If when you were winding the bobbin you ended up with something like this, which is all soft and doesn't look very nice, you don't need to unwind this. Put it back on here and wind it onto another bobbin. The reason that will happen is because the thread is not firmly in that tensioning dial. Your brother, My Star 3, is pretty much ready to use now. Just bring the bobbin thread up to the top. I will be doing another video on how to operate the machine, but I'm not quite sure when that is going to be uploaded. Once again, big thanks to Jane. I really appreciate the opportunity to use her machine, and I shall see you next time.